In the troubled city of Karachi, the president contends that democracy was most threatened by Ms. Bhutto's government. Thousands died in ethnic strife, and the police are accused of staging encounters to kill suspected terrorists with the backing of the state. The controversy over police actions reached ultimately to the door of Ms. Bhutto's own family home here, where Murtaza, her estranged brother, lived. He too claimed to be his father's political heir, and his bitter rivalry with his sister had split the People's Party. Murtaza openly called Mr. Zardari, Asif Baba and the 40 Thieves. He'd also clashed with Karachi's police, and he warned they were out to get him.
I challenge them to come and arrest me. If they can face the consequences afterwards, the political consequences.
That very evening, September the 20th, Murtaza and his bodyguards returned home in a convoy of cars. In the dark, a large contingent of police were waiting near his home to arrest them. The cars stopped, a shot rang out, then a barrage of fire. Bodies littered the streets. Murtaza was critically wounded. The police claimed the bodyguards had shot first, but 2 eyewitnesses said the officers opened fire.
We heard the shooting. It was very close by, but never occurred to us that it could be against Murtaza. I always thought that she would always make sure that nothing would happen to him physically.
Benazir Bhutto arrived at the hospital 5 hours after her brother had bled to death from his wounds. The Prime Minister was clearly shocked and grief-stricken. Although Murtaza had been gunned down by identifiable policemen, no arrests were made until his sister's government was deposed more than a month after the killing. Murtaza's widow was widely believed to suspect Asif Zardari.
The blood of my husband will be the sacrifice we have made for Pakistan.
A grieving Benazir was excluded from the family funeral, and later her husband was charged with conspiracy. The couple say it is the president who's behind the murder. He wanted to destroy them.
The fact that I'm put into that case is done to malign our government. The fact that he was murdered was a conspiracy. Who's lost the most in Mir Murtaza's murder? We.
He says the charges are trumped up and they're just an attempt to get at Miss Bhutto through him.
Well, every criminal will put up an excuse like that. Asif Zardari used to take an active interest in posting police officials and others, and each one of the persons who was in charge were all posted on the express orders of Asif Zardari through the Chief Minister of Sindh. So there is a nexus, there is a connection, and they hated each other. Everyone knows about that.
The dynastic feud has turned uglier as the dead man's family have blamed Benazir and her husband. Ginwar Bhutto has deepened the rift with her sister-in-law, claiming that Benazir threatened her to try and stop her from publicly accusing Asif Zardari.
I do hold Benazir before Asif responsible for what happened to her brother.
Why?
Because she indulged in that feud with him. It's obvious. I mean, the experienced politician she is, couldn't she have guessed that a conspiracy can hatch very easily in such circumstances?